We had forward motion on the Farm Bill last week, and we have the details for you, plus a roundup of the severe weather that came through the state and a lot more on today's episode of the Arkansas AgCast, which starts right now.
You're listening to the Arkansas AgCast, where we discuss the latest news, trends, and issues impacting Arkansas farmers and ranchers. Our show is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation and hosted by Jason Brown and John Nickman.
How'd you get Slash to play this intro for us?
What do you mean?
You know, Slash. I think that's Slash playing that.
Did you? I thought you meant like the actual Slash on the keyboard. No, Slash the musician.
Slash the musician.
Yeah.
Did you just call him up? And
I
ask
mean,
him
if
to
you
do that?
hadn't noticed by now, but people know me.
You're
And
kind of a big deal.
I know people.
You're the only person on this show who has signed autographs.
For free.
You're the only person who has paid people to ask you for autographs.
Yeah. I will give you $1. Yeah.
So the truth comes out.
Yeah.
What, would you like my autograph?
Yeah.
Yeah. I pass them out of doors.
Gosh, I didn't know. Yeah.
I'm famous. Well, I can't help it.
Yeah, I know.
It comes naturally.
You are the only person who's been approached about this show at a baby shower also.
That's true.
So, you know, I mean, you are the most famous, I think, of the three.
I can't get that out of my head now. I can just see him standing. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome.
Have this.
Here's $1 and a picture of me and my autograph.
Take a picture of it.
Yeah, don't spend that all
Post
in
it
one
online.
place.
Yeah. Oh, me. It's May the 30th. For some people, this is the last week of school.
Yeah.
Certainly, we'll be hitting June on Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
I know there are plenty of internet memes about this, but it seems hard to believe that June is already here.
Yeah.
You know, it's been a quick year so far.
June is my favorite month. Did you know that?
Is it really?
Yeah.
Or you're romantic? I know June's very popular for weddings.
It's my birthday.
Oh, it's your birthday.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
When? What day?
I just say it's at the end of the month.
At the end of the month.
Yeah. I really like my birthday. It's 6 months from Christmas. So I get,
You kind of keep
every
it
6
coming.
months I get a
Yeah, I like that.
gift, if we want to say that.
Father's Day is a thing now.
Yeah. Yep. Father's Day's a thing.
For you, so
Our anniversary is like a day or two from my birthday too. So we got a lot. We got a busy June.
are any of those
That's crazy.
significant?
Our anniversary is the week before mine.
Really?
So it's just like loaded up that week.
We got married on the 24th to 23rd.
No,
But,
you didn't have to do that. Nobody asked you when you got married. Like you were off scot free.
And it's like a day's difference. Right.
We got married on the 26th of June.
Cool.
Was that your birthday?
Nope.
Okay.
A little too much.
All right.
Too high.
We know his birthday now. Yeah.
We got married on St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
I remember this from last year, I believe.
Did y'all wear green?
Unbeknownst, no. Didn't even know it was St. Patrick's Day. Didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
So
Y'all are just kind of in the house, as I recall.
we were in the now. We were in the
Yeah,
moment.
just like, let us do this.
I had a situation like that once, not to like top your story, but when I
Feels
did
like a one-upper.
Yeah. When I just disclaimer out there, we were I did a study abroad program in grad school.
Yeah.
We were in Rome. We
Yeah.
got to see the Pope bless the Colosseum.
Yeah.
There's people everywhere, like elbow to elbow, hundreds and thousands of people. And I looked over at somebody and I said, "Well, does he do this like every Sunday or every once a month?" They're like, "No, it's Easter." And I was like, "Wow, didn't even realize today was Easter."
Here I am.
Yeah. Oh man, I felt terrible. But it was pretty cool.
Did you offer him your autograph?
I didn't. I wasn't that famous at the time. But after I
Wouldn't have known
left,
who he was back then.
after I left Europe, they knew who I was.
Yeah.
There we go.
His famous DVD days,
Yeah,
as
that's
we
right.
know
Yeah.
from this show.
Yeah.
I,
Signing
I-
DVDs
I
back
smell
then.
reunion tour coming.
He and the Pope.
That's right.
Oh, that's funny. So, you know, we were talking before we came on about different movies and summer movies and all of that. And you guys have got giving me some good ideas. We talked about the old Ernest movies.
Yeah.
Man, those talk about some good summertime movies. And it's just a good summer. I don't know why will always make me think about movies. And I know it's somewhat marketing, right?
Yeah,
We've the summer blockbuster has been a thing as long as I've been around.
It's like your big movies are summer and around Christmas.
Yeah, the holiday season and that. But what other? As we're on the brink of school getting out, obviously June coming this weekend. What other kind of things make you guys think about summer? Are there any other core memories or activities? It's like, well, I know that means it's summer, or when I think about that, I think about summertime as a kid or whenever that may be.
Water and rice fields, pulling levee gates.
That's right. You grew up in the ag world.
Swatting mosquitoes.
Mosquitoes
Couldn't wear
are up
shorts
there.
or sandals at night.
Screened in porches.
Yeah. The yell from the other side of the house, close that door. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now the movie The Great Outdoors. Remember that movie?
Oh yeah,
John Candy and
Yes,
the guy from the Ghostbusters.
Dan Aykroyd.
Dan Aykroyd.
Yeah.
That one always makes me think of summer.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good. I watched that movie for the first time in decades. Last year, like maybe around Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was just a John Candy kick, planes, trains, and
That was the
automobiles.
76er. That steak he
Yeah.
had to eat. That
Oh,
movie.
yeah.
Whoa. Oh man.
Beverly D'Angelo,
Yeah.
was she his wife? Right? From National Lampoons? I believe so. She was John Candy's wife, right? Am I making that up?
Maybe, I don't know.
Y'all don't remember.
I don't know.
All right. Well,
I can't picture her in my head.
that's a
either.
good one, though. I love the 80s nostalgia
Oh, yeah.
stuff like that.
I like
Can't
old
beat
movies.
Like Ernest.
Right.
Ernest.
Right.
Did anybody ever see the movie Space Camp? Or am I on an
Yeah.
island there?
No.
Okay.
I saw it. Yeah.
All right.
It was good.
That movie reminds me of summer.
Now I did see that you reminded me of the movie. Is it Heavyweights?
Yes.
Ben Stiller's
Ben
the
Stiller.
director of a
Yeah.
Yes.
fat cat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I've heard
All
many.
of that, how many summer camp type movies and shows?
Yeah.
Nickelodeon had a very famous show called Salute Your Shorts, I
Yeah.
think.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
But all that summer camp themed movie entertainment stuff. I
Right.
mean, that was a huge deal.
Sure.
I'm thinking about the movie with the twins, Parent Trap,
Yep.
set at a summer
Disney
camp.
movie, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes.
And was remade
Yeah. Remake.
maybe more than once.
Right.
But yeah.
Launched Lindsay Lohan's career.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was the remake of that movie.
That
Yes,
yeah, that was
the
remake.
original was like 60s.
Black and white. Yeah.
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 But so many movies back then, speaking of summer, were set around summer camp. Ernest Goes to Camp. We talked about that one earlier. But there was a lot of shows and movies set around that.
Another movie that reminds me of summer that's on Netflix right now. Not to sponsor or put them out there, but Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler's.
That's a good one. Mm-hmm. A lot of good Adam Sandler stuff.
Oh yeah, we were just talking about that, weren't we?
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I don't know. I think about, this is going to be way left turn, but going to the library. I feel like we went to the library a lot when I was.
I would agree
That
that is
summer.
a left turn.
I thought you were going to agree that going to the library. My grandmother kept us as kids. In the
Summer event.
And I think she was just like up for whatever. Hey, it's free. Let's go. All right, I hear you.
What section of the library did you like gravitate to?
You know, the kids section probably.
But like specifically, like within genres, like
The
was it
St.
mystery?
Let me tell you, the Forest City Library was a very quality hang.
Yeah.
What about? Let's move on. Let's move on from the library. My gosh,
I didn't realize he was going to shame you so bad.
I didn't either. It's a yeah.
I tried to direct it in a different way, but you just
How
being
about-
smart about it.
All all I did was defend the library as a good option.
And I was curious to what you liked in the library. Kid section.
They always had.
Okay, smart boy.
I was a kid.
Yeah. Okay, whatever, nerd. I won't defend it anymore, but I have plenty of talking points.
Yeah.
What about Arkansas vacations? Did y'all ever do the just in-state vacation? I'm not talking about the Gulf Shores beach trip
right.
or
yeah.
Colorado
No,
or
totally.
whatever.
Yeah,
Totally.
Heber
The
Springs,
in-state vacation.
Yeah.
Did y'all do those?
Greers Ferry, Heber Springs area. I had a
Yeah.
buddy or neighbor that had the same birthday month as me.
Uh-huh.
And we'd go camping with his parents
At
or
the lake.
Oh, cool.
friends and stuff. Yep.
And just do like one of the swim beaches, or did y'all do the boat deal? Or
We
do
do
you
the
remember?
boat deal.
Yeah.
I'm guessing we were in the boat back then. I was so young, I don't really
Yeah.
remember.
Yeah.
But that or trying to think, we had baseball too. I think so.
Yeah.
Fairly busy.
How about you?
Yeah, we did Dog Patch,
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
and yeah, it was a thing.
Yeah, for
It was-
sure.
It was good. I would go back and do it again. The age I was scared to death to ride anything.
To ride
So
stuff. I was
Yeah.
also had that fear.
my my brother rode everything and laughed at me the whole time. So
Yeah.
I'd go back and do it again if I could.
Speaking of Dog Patch, Wild River Country
Yes.
here in Little Rock.
Oh yeah.
I had another
Did-
buddy. We
did
do our
that too.
birthdays there.
I
So we had his
passed that old site almost every day
Yeah.
going
Yeah.
home.
Yeah.
And they're turning that into a sort of competitor to one of the golf ranges.
Yeah.
One of the national golf range chains. Slow moving, I'll tell you. Haven't passed it every day.
Yeah.
A lot of they've gotten the old stuff out, doing some dirt work, but
Yeah,
not
they've
a lot
cleared
of progress.
everything.
Yeah. We would do kind of alternate Eureka, Hot Springs, and Blanchard Springs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
I went to Hot Springs because my mom's family lives there. I spent
Mm-hmm.
a week with my grandma.
Yeah.
We do all the national park stuff,
Yeah.
boat rides, and
That was a big deal. I mean, that was a lot of fun to go up to the Outlook Tower or
I've still
whatever
never
they
been up
called
there.
that. Oh, really?
yeah, I've always been trying to go there.
We should do that.
Yeah,
Um,
podcast from the tower.
Yeah. Be kind of windy, but otherwise. My grandparents would take us every year, and I remember this specific thing made the trip so good. When we got to town, you didn't book your rooms on Expedia or beforehand, anything like that back then. You showed up. If the sign said vacancy, you knew that you could stay at that hotel. You know, and wherever we were going, Eureka, Hot Spring, whatever it may be. I remember my grandparents would always drive around to a few of the hotels and let us look at the swimming pools, and they'd say choose based on the swimming pool, and like if there was no vacancy or if there was
Man,
vacancy,
that's quite the power right there.
I know that's
Yeah.
pretty fun, isn't it?
I could see them driving around going, please don't choose that one. Please don't choose that
Yeah.
one.
Oh boy, that one was rough. But no continental breakfast. No,
That one's
we
got a
just-
slide.
Yeah. Oh, there was one I believe in Eureka Springs that had a slide, and that one, if we went up there, that was a winner for sure.
There you go.
But those were fun times,
Yeah.
man. Just
Dad would take us trout fishing up in the White River when I was a kid.
Yeah.
There was that too.
We did the same. I remember one trip we went and both my granddads took us.
Yeah.
Apparently they had packed a bunch of sandwiches for us to eat. We fed them to the fish while they were
they were not paying attention.
they came back. One was a farmer, one's a basketball coach.
Yeah.
And they're both coming back, man, I'm starving, we're ready to eat. And they came back, all the sandwiches were gone. Like, oh, we thought those were for the fish. They were not too pleased.
Oh yeah, because it's not like don't worry, we'll just hit the drive-through.
Yeah, we were out. So
whatever.
I'm sure I liked the White River where we were. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure they had fond memories of that. So,
Yeah,
Probably not.
that's pretty funny. Well, whatever your summer memories are these days, I'll just say, don't overcomplicate it, man. Do something fun that you can do around here or do for free.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't go to the library. That's not something that some of us would recommend.
You can do whatever you want, man. And the library is a good resource, free to you resource.
It is. I like the library.
Yeah,
we take the grandkids there.
We went a couple weeks ago on a Saturday morning and enjoyed my time there.
Yeah.
But anyway, get out and have some fun this summer. Tell us about it if you feel like you want to do that. As we move on into actually sharing some information with you.
Yeah. Just
a reminder that it is still May, and like we said, it's May 30th. So it is still Mental Health Awareness Month. We last week put out our deep dive episode with Brandon Wolf, who's a cattle farmer and clinical therapist, a mental health professional. He's got some great information on ways that you can maybe think more proactively about your mental health if that is something that you believe could be helpful. Ways you can do that while never leaving the farm, while staying anonymous, while keeping that to yourself.
Yeah.
And just kind of an opportunity to talk to somebody. And whether that's one conversation, a series of conversations, go back and listen to Brandon's episode of the AgCast. You can find it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen, not a video episode. Just go check that out and maybe see if there's some helpful information in there for you.
Yeah, it's a good one. I agree.
And then just a shout out to the PR team here. We've put out some really cool videos lately. So if you haven't been to our YouTube channel or seen them on Facebook or whatever the case may be, I just made a quick list here. We've got some spring planting update videos. I know there's one with Robert Stovall. Recently, I think he was planting corn.
Yeah.
And then Matthew was telling me he went out and shot one yesterday, so that'll be up soon. And planting season is still going, as we'll talk about here in a minute. There's a video from a place called Berkeley Farms, which I believe is up around the Quitman, maybe not Quitman, but Greenbrier area.
Yes.
Pretty cool place. They're making bread. They're hosting events. They're doing dinners.
She's growing produce too, isn't she?
Yeah, she was I think a registered nurse.
Yeah.
And just decided she wanted to kind of do the homesteading thing. And I obviously it's more complex than that. But I've seen her at a place in North Little Rock. One of the breweries in North Little Rock have. She's come down and hosted like sourdough classes and things like that. So got a lot going on. Very cool video to see. Hackberry Farms. I love this one. This lady was into knitting, I'll say.
Yeah.
I probably will have that term wrong, so don't throw tomatoes at the screen. But she decided she wanted to grow her own yarn.
Oh, wow.
And I mean grow her own yarn. So started raising sheep.
Yep.
Shaving their wool and making that into yarn. And that's up in White County, I think. So that's a cool one. And then Origami Sake down in Hot Springs, the largest craft sake brewery in the United States.
Yep.
All made and created with Arkansas rice.
I really liked his comments. I can't remember the gentleman's name. But
Matt Bell,
his view on where he thought they fit into that industry and his outlook on it. Then also like Robert Stovall's. I thought he did a really good description of like the impact and the difficulties that the current situation in agriculture is for farmers, financially or regulatory or whatever. And it was all from the tractor, so it was very you could feel it almost.
Kind of a ride along type. Yeah, I like that too. So anyway, the point is we put out some really great stuff here lately, and I think you should take some time and go check it out. Easy to do. Facebook, YouTube, just look up Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation. We're easy to find. Another point here as we work towards the news, congrats to the county Farm Families of the Year. So Arkansas Farm Family of the Year program announced its county winners or county honorees. This program recognizes outstanding farm families throughout the state. This year, I believe there's more than 50 county honorees. You can see the full list at arfb.com. District winners will be announced here in the next couple of weeks, but there's some really great families and farms out there who were named as part of this honor this year. So, yeah, go to our website, arfb.com, see that full list. I believe that list will also be published in the upcoming Front Porch. So lots of ways to see that that information. And then lastly, before we get into the news, just some quick crop progress and quality updates. I will tell you, you can tell that the rain has put the brakes on planting.
Yeah, for sure.
Matthew was in Woodruff County yesterday, and so I called him this morning and said, "Hey, how'd it go? What'd you see?" And he said, "Wet, wet, 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 wet." Like
I imagine
a lot of challenges with getting planting finished.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? So if you got everything in, you're loving it.
Yeah.
But if you don't, now the other thing I'd be concerned about is if you just planted and then it came down with 6 inches of rain, you get that hard top soil on top. You have trouble with your seeds emerging.
Yeah, it's just kind of crazy to see how this has turned out.
Yeah,
I talked to a farmer over in the eastern part of the state who said they got 3 hailstorms and 12.5 inches of rain in May. That's on one farm. So you look at that and you start to see, you and I was talking to Matthew about this. You and I talked about we're ahead.
Yeah.
The week you talked about La Nina and where it's going to come in the fall. Mm-hmm. And we said, is ahead going to be helpful or is it going to hurt us? And we're not experts. We're not out there looking. We're not agronomists.
Yeah.
But it feels like maybe some of these things being so far ahead could be make them more susceptible to some of the damage.
I think the transition. I was reading an article which you're going to get into here in a second about tornadoes. Mm-hmm. They were kind of given a reason, like, why do you think there's been so many? Mm-hmm. And they were trying to pin it on that transition from El Nino to La Nina.
Uh-huh.
And that being whether it was a specific jet stream and warm weather as well as that Pacific weather front that always comes through. Yeah. It was just like, no pun intended to one of those movies, but the perfect storm.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And we've seen hail in different spots, like you just said.
Mm-hmm.
Like in north of Stuttgart, Slovak, Hazen area, they had a bunch of hail. The gravel road looked like it was iced over in February.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
We are going to talk about that, Slovak specifically, as part of what we're going to talk about. But yeah, so corn planting is officially done at 100% according to USDA this week. They only like 3%. So, again, these reports come out on Monday. We give it to you on Thursday. So, obviously there's going to be some change, but 96% of that crop's emerged. The 5-year average, 93%, so it stays ahead. Rice, we're at 99% done, 9% up from last week. So there was some progress before some of that rain and storms came in. 93% of the crops emerged. 5-year average is 79%. So, 14%, give or take, ahead. But again, that emergence could be a vulnerability to some of that weather. Soybeans planted at 88%, again, 6% over last week. 78% of the crops emerged. The 5-year average, 56%. So more than 20% ahead of the 5-year average on emergence. Again, not to go back and beat that drum, but a vulnerability potentially there. Cotton's at 86%. Had the biggest jump from last week at 18%. 66% of the crops emerged. The 5-year average on emergence is 54% for this week. Peanuts, 85% of that crop's planted, 7% increase from last week. 61% of the peanut crop has emerged. 5-year average is 55%. So we remain ahead in both the planted and the emerged categories there.
Well, cotton's really moved forward.
Cotton took a big jump, that's for sure. And at this point, probably just everybody just wants to get done, I think. Again, we've got more rain in the forecast tomorrow and a little bit through the weekend and rain next week. So we'll see what the progress looks like at the end of this week. I have no doubt rice will be done. Soybeans probably could be close. But anyway, quality is where we have to turn our attention to now. So nearly 70%, 72% of the corn crop's good to excellent. That's a downgrade since last week. I think we could see this downgrade again, maybe getting to the 60s percentage-wise there. Rice quality, nearly 68% good to excellent. Get this, that's almost a 20% drop.
Wow.
In that good to excellent column from last week. So rice has really taken a hit.
I think weather,
I think so. That's what I'm hearing. And then soybeans, nearly 74% good to excellent, down slightly in quality for the second consecutive week.
Ooh.
So, you start to see what we're talking about shine through in the quality reporting. So,
and it'll be interesting to see if that has any big impacts on yield, like if they'll be able to estimate, these particular effects or storms were the reason we dropped, but I don't know, they'll random number of 10% out,
Yeah, and replants. What do you think? I mean, soybean you can still replant.
No, that was one thing that when you were going through this, I was thinking soybeans aren't done, but they are 88%. But you're going to see people plant soybeans through June. You always do.
Yeah.
And then whatever. Like you're not going to be able to go back and replant corn.
No. So if you've got corn
lay soybeans
herd,
on it,
you can put. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So that could impact state, planning and things like that. So all marketing decisions.
Well, you want to move on to the news?
Let's get into it.
Yep. All right. Well, I want to talk about the Farm Bill. I can't say that it's going to be done anytime soon or passed and completed.
Yeah.
But we did get moved in the right direction last Friday night, or I should say Thursday morning, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
We would have reported on it last week, but it was past the time we recorded.
Overnight, Thursday into Friday.
Correct. Yeah. So like I said, last Friday morning, Republicans successfully passed their $1.5 trillion farm bill through the House Agricultural Committee. The bill had help from some critical Democrat votes. That included Don Davis of North Carolina. I'm going to butcher this name. Yadira Coravio of Colorado. Mm-hmm. Eric Sorensen of Illinois, and Sanford Bishop of Georgia. In total, the panel approved the bill 33-21 after a heated debate that started at 11 a.m. On Thursday and didn't end until midnight on Friday.
Goodness.
Yeah, they were determined, it seemed like.
Yeah, it felt like it.
According to the committee chairman, Glenn G.T. Thompson, the bill won't see the House floor until September at the earliest. Many critics believe that the bill won't make it out of the House due to the narrow GOP majority, and even if it did, would be more than likely dead on arrival in the Democratic-controlled Senate. These are all opinions of other people, so don't take my word for it. Mm-hmm. Most critics are focused on a provision in the bill that would require any future updates at USDA's or Thrifty Food Plan, or TFP, to be cost neutral. TFP is a model of food cost that is used to revise SNAP benefits, the nutrition section of the Farm Bill. Mm-hmm. The restriction would save $27 billion in future benefit costs, with a portion of the money being used to pay for doubling trade promotion programs and to bolster programs for specialty crops. Democrats also criticized the bill for removing climate guardrails from Inflation Reduction Act's conservation funding, which would be brought into the Farm Bill, and for a provision that would suspend USDA's Section 5 spending authority under the Commodity Credit Corporation. However, the bill would address many commodity groups' top priorities, such as increases in reference prices and modifications to the agricultural risk coverage and the supplemental coverage option. The statutory reference price for rice would be boosted by nearly 21% by the bill, while the rate for soybeans would be boosted 19%. Wheat would get an increase of 15.5%. The rate of cotton would go up to 13.5%. The corn reference price would rise to 10.8%. Although there is a cost-saving provision of corn that puts a floor under the PLC rate. Mm-hmm. Here's some other highlights. The bill is massive, so I'm not going to be able to go through all of these
1,000 pages,
something like that.
I read. Yeah.
Maybe that was the reason why they went all the way through midnight.
Maybe so.
So some other highlights of this Republican-led bill. would be the Inflation Reduction Act funding that's brought into the bill would be relocated to provide a permanent 25% increase in conservation funding. For producers of fruits, vegetables, and other specialty crops, the bill would increase the mandatory funding level for the specialty crop block grant to $100 million annually, a $15 million increase from the 2018 Farm Bill, and allocate $20 million for research and development of mechanization and automation technologies, specifically for that sector. Limits would be increased for USDA direct and guaranteed operating and ownership loans. Funding for the Market Access Program and Foreign Market Development Program, which was big for our big topic for our soybean division.
Yeah. Yep.
They are used to promote the sale of U.S. commodities overseas, would be doubled. Half of the funding for the Food for Peace program would be earmarked for purchase of U.S. produce commodities and related ocean freight. I could continue on. I would potentially bore everybody.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
Like I said, this is just kind of an update. There's a lot of speculation of what's gonna happen to this version of the bill.
Mm-hmm.
But as of right now, it made it out of the U.S. House Ag Committee's markups. So the next step is going to the House floor. If it makes it to the House, it goes to the Senate, where we're assuming or hearing or reading at least that it won't make it that far.
Yeah.
But it might. I don't know.
You never know.
And there's another version coming out of the Senate, right?
Out of the Senate, yeah. So I think what we're looking for next, probably the next update from our show's perspective, would be Senator Bozeman's draft.
Yeah.
Whether that's a full bill or whether that's priorities, whatever that may be. So at this point, just a quick recap, we've seen a full bill from the House Ag Committee that has made it out of committee.
Correct.
We've seen a pretty robust proposal from Senator Debbie Stabenow,
Correct.
who's the chair of the Senate Ag Committee, but nothing from the minority side of the Senate Ag Committee, which would be John Bozeman as a ranking member, Senator John Bozeman. So a little bit more to come there. Obviously, but like you said, forward motion.
Yeah, I'd like to also add Brandy Carroll wrote a really nice Ag Insider with some updates on the Farm Bill. So if you're interested in reading that, please go to our website and find us under Ag Insider.
Boom, right there it is. Believe that lives under the Arkansas Agriculture tab there, maybe.
I believe that is correct.
All right, well, we could not record this show today without acknowledging the massive outbreak of severe weather over Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah.
We want to cover the impact to agriculture, but also simply to rural communities, especially across the northern row of Arkansas counties. I'm sorry for all the losses that you guys are dealing with right now. We truly hope you get the resources required to make your communities whole again. I want to say, too, in advance, this is not meant to be a full view of what the state has experienced. This is just meant to sort of give a brief outlook, and certainly there's more out there going on, and that will be reported on in the coming days and weeks. All right, let's take a look at what the state experienced over the weekend. As of Wednesday afternoon, yesterday, when we were pulling this together, severe weather surveys have tallied 16 tornadoes over Memorial Day weekend.
Man.
15 of those storms came on Sunday, with one storm coming on Friday, and I believe that one was in southwest Arkansas. So far, Arkansas has experienced 32 tornadoes this year, with 25 of those coming in the month of May.
Wow.
That is 77% of the tornadoes in 2024 having occurred in May alone. To give some context, the state's annual average of tornadoes is 37. We're only 5 shy of the average right now. The widest storm took place in Benton County and measured an astounding 32 football fields wide. It was 1.8 miles wide.
Wow.
That's a state record for any tornado. Benton County also had the most storms with 6 official tornadoes, 3 of those being rated at an EF2 or higher. That's unbelievable.
That's insane.
All this weather has impacted farmers across the state, and not just the tornadoes. We've been told of several reports, especially in the eastern part of the state, where row crop farmers have been impacted by hail damage.
Yes.
We talked about that earlier. We've talked a lot on this show the past couple of months about the speed at which planting season has moved this year. Again, we just talked about that. There are, of course, drawbacks to that speed, and that is what we've been talking about, the advanced stage of the crops when this weather has moved through.
Yeah.
Now, Little Rock TV station KTHV interviewed Steve Trpeka in Slovak, who noted his farm experienced baseball-size hail over the weekend. He outlined damage to soybeans and rice. Fort Smith TV station KFSM noted that Madison and Benton counties have seen damage largely to agricultural lands and operations. Madison County Judge Larry Garrett has declared a state of emergency for his county and told the station that several properties with barns, chicken houses, and other ag infrastructure have been hit the hardest in his county. I've talked to a poultry farmer and a small ruminants farmer up there who said her barns have been, her chicken houses have been completely destroyed. Members of our Federation staff have been working to collect information to help impacted farmers. We're here to help. Please reach out to anyone here at the Federation, and we can connect you with the right folks to help. You can also reach out to your local FSA office for assistance. I'm told there could be additional programs in development, although details are really nil right now.
Yeah.
But those additional programs could provide further assistance as well. We'll certainly have the information about those if they're developed as we get it. And I will say, I was proud to be a part of this Federation team on Tuesday. Several of us gathered to pack up disaster relief kits, courtesy of Arkansas Farm Bureau Foundation. You and I were both in the room for that.
Yes.
These kits included safety gloves, vests, glasses, and earplugs. We built hundreds of these kits. Many of them went to Benton and Madison counties on Wednesday with President Dan Wright and Executive Vice President Jared Yates and other staff members surveying farmland damage and providing additional assistance in weather-torn areas. It's been a tough few days for Arkansas.
Man, it just seemed like all that just came out of nowhere. Well, I wouldn't say come out of nowhere. It's that time of year, but just like, boom, here it is. And all this devastation. I mean, I've seen videos of, it reminded me of the tornado that came through Stuttgart in 2008.
Yeah.
You know, that's just one experience, or the only experience I've had with that. So, it bring back some memories. But what I really wanted to bring up, you said something about disaster assistance programs for agriculture and farmers. You know, our department will probably be working on trying to get some of that information out over the next few days, weeks, months, whatever it may be. But until then, you can go to fsa.usda.gov and click on their programs and services tab.
Okay.
And you'll get several different emergency relief programs that they offer throughout the country. Now, some of these, I'm not going to list all of them because not all of them are going to trigger, or they're kind of specific to certain things. And then some of them also, like we talked about earlier before the show, will require a declaration of emergency or natural disaster from a county judge.
Right.
And some even go as far as the governor of that state.
Okay.
So, like I said, fsa.usda.gov and click on programs and services. And there'll be tons of different information there for you to look at. And also be looking out for some stuff we may put out in the future.
Yeah, I know. I think we're going to just be doing as much as we can to help get information in your hands so that you can make some informed decisions.
Yes, absolutely.
And including on this show, I would say. So, so there's that. Hopefully we can be wrapped up with severe weather season for some time.
Yeah. It always gives me a little anxiety when it's coming close, and now we're here. Especially after the one that hit Little Rock last year.
Yeah, I know it. It's tough. All right. Well, we've talked a lot about it the past few weeks, but May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and our friends at American Farm Bureau have brought back their Farm State of Mind campaign.
That's right, Jason. A healthy farm or ranch is nothing without a healthy you, and the Farm State of Mind program has a lot of helpful resources, like the new Together All online community.
Together All is a safe, anonymous, online, peer-to-peer community accessible 24/7 and moderated around the clock by licensed mental health professionals. The platform is available to farmers, ranchers, and members of their family who who are 16 years or older.
Yeah. All you need to do is set up an anonymous profile to gain access to a network of peers who can listen and offer support. In addition, if farm families need counseling services, those are available for no cost thanks to the Farm Family Wellness Alliance.
To learn more, visit farmstateofmind.org or type Farm State of Mind in your search engine. All right, let's get back to the news.
Okay. Man, I think I always talk about exports. And I also say that about H2A. And I'm starting to have to say that about the Farm Bill. I'm just your national and international correspondent here at the AgCast.
I like correspondent.
Yeah, so
why haven't we used that for you before?
You can add that to my resume.
Okay.
So just this Wednesday, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, or USDA, I think I've gotten to a point where I've brought that up so many times I don't really need to tell y'all.
I think we can say USDA.
Yeah, I think we can just go ahead and say USDA. So they published their forecasts and projections for agricultural imports and exports for fiscal year 2024, which ends in September. U.S. ag imports were estimated to be valued at $202.5 billion, which was a $1.5 billion increase from February's forecast. The increase was due to increases in fruit and vegetables.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. USDA also reported China dropped to third place behind Mexico and China among the top U.S. export markets for the U.S. If you've been following the podcast over the last 6 months, you've probably heard us mention how exports to China have been falling. So this report follows along with that, kind of confirms our thoughts and everything we've read. The report also confirmed our thoughts that increased competition for soybeans and corn from other producing countries is a culprit of that. So more specifically, though, exports to China were reduced to $27.7 billion, which is a $1 billion decrease from the previous report. Exports to Mexico were projected up $300 million to a record $28.7 billion, while exports to Canada are projected $400 million higher at $28.4 billion, also a record. So interesting, our movement of food, or whatever you want to call it, from China is now going to our neighbors. That's what I've kind of gathered.
Yeah.
Our growing agricultural trade deficit has been driven both by falling prices for U.S. exports and growing consumer demand for imported commodities that include, like I mentioned earlier, fruits and vegetables.
Fruits and veggies.
Yeah.
Year-round.
The U.S. also ran a $1.3 billion deficit in 2019 as well as 2020, before a small surplus in 2021 and 2022, and then another deficit of $16.7 billion in fiscal year 23. So it's been kind of a roller coaster. On a brighter note, U.S. exports increased for livestock and dairy products as well as ethanol.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. This in turn helped offset the reductions in grains and feeds, or I should say feed. The fiscal year 24 forecast for livestock, poultry, and dairy exports was raised $800 million to $38.5 billion, driven in part by increased cheese exports to Southeast Asia. Would you expect that?
No, not at all.
While the projection for ethanol exports was raised $400 million to $400 billion. And I sourced this information from AgriPulse.
Okay.
So
yeah,
kind of a short deal here and a lot of numbers, but I just thought it was all fairly interesting since we've been talking about exports quite a bit.
Yeah.
Our exports to China falling. But I also realized how interested I was in the fact that you think about it, our health as a populace, health has been a bigger concern. People are eating a lot more fruits and vegetables. Think about where your avocados come from that you eat almost weekly now.
Yep.
You know, and something we talk about in our specialty crop division quite a bit is the competition with fruits and vegetables being grown in different countries such as Canada and Mexico, and it being so much cheaper in those countries. So we're importing more fruits and vegetables than we are growing and consuming ourselves here in the country.
You literally took the words out of my mouth thinking about the more health conscious diet and that need for fruits and vegetables year round. What I think would be interesting is, I think something that we've gotten away from a little bit is, seasonal vegetables or fruits on menus.
Yeah.
It used to be like, hey, if you're going to eat out in February, it's root vegetables.
Yeah.
Kind of a situation, I mean, that's what's on your plate. And, excuse me, we've gotten away from that a little bit and into the, whatever you want, you can have it.
It just
if you want blueberries in February, we've got it,
I don't want to go on a rant, but given that we are such a agricultural based like leader in the world, and we are importing a lot of our food. You know what I mean? And I was reading an article today. A lot of that reason is it's more expensive to grow it here, especially fruits and vegetables. And a big reason for that is labor.
Right, labor.
Yeah, $1.30 an hour in labor in Mexico, and the national average now I think is somewhere around 18, 19. Don't get me lying to you, but here in the U.S. And then it's like I think what I read this morning, it's like $10 or $11 in Canada.
Yeah.
So there we are.
It's tough to compete with, and the increase in demand. I mean, when you see all that come across, I mean, it just is what it is. Well, we'll round out today with the news about a familiar face around the Farm Bureau family. During its most recent board meeting, the Riceland Foods Board of Directors elected Rich Hillman to serve as chairman. Former chairman Roger Polner stepped down from the board leadership role, but he will remain on the board to serve the Riceland members in North Central Arkansas District. A sixth-generation farmer from Carlisle, certainly a bio that's familiar to everybody around here. Hillman grows rice, soybeans, and corn in Lonoke and Prairie counties. He farms with his father, son, and brother. He's been a member of the Riceland Foods Board of Directors since 2004 and vice chairman for 12 years. Additionally, Hillman served as the president of the Arkansas Farm Bureau Federation, vice chairman of the Southern Farm Bureau Casualty Insurance Company, and on the board of the Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company. He is a past chairman of the Arkansas Rice Research and Promotion Board, a past member of the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission, and a past member of the Arkansas Game and Fish Foundation Board. At the same meeting, the Riceland Foods Board of Directors elected Shannon Davis, vice chairman. Davis is a fifth-generation farmer who grows rice, soybeans, and corn in Craighead and Lawrence counties. Davis has served on the Riceland Foods Board of Directors since 2009, serving on numerous committees. He's currently the chairman of the Riceland Foods Foundation. He served on the Arkansas Soybean Promotion Board for 14 years, where he was the chairman from 2012 to 2014. So there you go.
Wow.
Some leadership shake up there at Riceland Foods.
That was pretty interesting to see all of Chairman Hillman's leadership roles he's had in the past.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yep, there's a lot on there. Busy guy to be farming too.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, Brian, I think we finally got through the news today.
Okay, then.
I feel like we've been here all morning.
We have been. I'm hungry.
We kind of have. We've been all over the place.
Yeah.
But I know what you guys are waiting for.
We are.
It's time to play.
Boom, he did it.
Yes, he did. I had a catch. I went back, as I sometimes do, and listened to last week's episode.
Yeah.
And I was trying to catalog the trivia categories because I feel like I had not done a good job of really soaking that all in.
Yeah.
And one hit me like a brick on the head.
What's that?
General. There is a general category.
There is indeed a general category.
And
never thought about that.
I feel like we had just skipped past that. So I just wanted to bring that into the room today.
I will let
as a
you go
reminder.
first, and I would be happy to back you up in your decision to go with general.
And I would choose general if that's a...
General it is. What U.S. president's library boasts a 3-ton chunk of the Berlin Wall?
Reagan.
Ronald Reagan.
Correct. Ronald Reagan. So.
All right, general. I like it.
How about that? All right.
All right. You want
what?
You want science, art, geography?
Oh gosh, none of them are easy.
I always pick history. That's clearly
go
what
with it.
No, I want something different.
All right,
give me my options.
You said science, but
let's do science. Yeah, why not?
Which mammal has no vocal cords?
A mammal. Or did you say animal?
Mammal.
Mammal specifically.
I don't know. I need to do a little bit of. Yeah. I mean, I believe, and I won't have the species right, but I'm going to jump in the category. I believe that it's of the whale variety.
No.
Oh, had me on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I have no clue.
We're up against the clock here.
Yeah.
Giraffe.
Giraffe.
The giraffe.
Does make sense.
How about
a little
that?
bit. I've never heard a giraffe make sound.
So, arts, entertainment, history, geography. Anyone?
Arts.
Arts. Who painted The Persistence of Memory?
Man, I'm so happy.
I'm so mad at myself immediately. I'm so mad at myself.
That was the one question I was really helping you.
Yeah,
I immediately regretted it. Immediately regretted it. Just to move us forward, I'm going to say Van Gogh.
Picasso.
Salvador Dali.
Okay.
So,
All right.
is that all?
We usually do 3.
We did 3.
We got one right.
We did. Not too bad.
Yeah.
So
We were very wrong on the others.
just for fun, then, just to see
Okay.
entertainment.
Oh, okay.
In 2016, Giants wide receiver Odell Beckham Jr. He appeared on what television series?
The Wire. That was obviously wrong.
The Kardashians.
Not a bad guess, probably.
He appeared as himself on the series Code Black,
Code Black.
entitled Hail Mary.
Don't even know that show.
No,
Never heard of it.
no, I hadn't either.
See, this is why I stopped guessing entertainment. I thought I'd be good at entertainment. And it's,
I thought I was offering you an olive branch there. But
I think
I
didn't help.
appreciate it.
So
arts is probably the most difficult one for me. I shouldn't be speaking for anybody else.
I'm not a fine arts consumer. And I think that's where that one
You really
lands.
need to pay attention in art, like history.
Oh, yeah. I had 2 of those classes. And
Ooh, that's
apparently I did not.
one more
pay
than I
attention. Yeah.
Wherever wanted.
Goodness gracious. All right. Well, we're terrible at trivia. We should stick to the news. And that said, that wraps up the news for this week. Thanks for following along with the Arkansas AgCast. We're grateful for you taking the time to watch and listen.
Remember, you can catch new episodes on the show every Thursday afternoon. Find video episodes on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the audio version wherever you listen to podcasts.
And make sure to subscribe and leave us a review when you have a few extra minutes. The Arkansas AgCast is brought to you by the Arkansas Farm Bureau. I'm Jason Brown.
And I'm John McMinn.
And we'll see you next week.